On deck will be Sherry Rowe Proctor, Amy Strahan, and Dr. Mike Van Dyke. So if staff can help get them promoted, that would be great. All right, we will hear next from Michael Findley. Welcome.
Thank you, Chairman, distinguished members of the committee. My name is Michael Finley. I'm representing the National Shooting Sports Foundation today. We're the trade association for most of the firearm manufacturers, ammunition manufacturers, ranges, and retailers here in the United States. We have hundreds and hundreds of members in Washington alone, and I'm here to testify against this bill. Today, you're going to hear a lot of compelling testimony as to why this bill shouldn't be passed, but since I have limited time, I wanted to concentrate on a specific case currently in litigation in the Ninth Circuit right now, and that's Duncan v. Becerra, and you might hear about a lot of it today. And while the law in California and this proposed law do have some differences, they are materially the same, and it's important to understand that the actions of this bill could be moot and essentially putting the cart in front of the horse. And I say this because the court has already ruled in Duncan v. Becerra that a law limiting capacity of a magazine is unconstitutional. That was upheld at the appeals level. Now, for 2 weeks, for a 2-week period this past year, it was open in terms of being able to purchase magazines by Californians. It was legal again. The Attorney General of California came in quickly and asked for a stay on that order, which closed the ability to do so. This has created confusion. This has created a lot of uncertainty in the state of California. So the whole point is, if Washington were to do the same thing while litigation is still going on, and in fact it's in the en banc review process, it would be essentially like putting a law in place when you know the outcome of whether or not that's constitutional is about to be decided. So I would ask the committee to really consider that. I know I'm out of time here, but really say, hey, if we vote on this and we vote to move this forward, we could be voting for an unconstitutional law. And under the Ninth Circuit, it has been ruled that already. With that, I'll return my time. Thank you very much, members of the committee. We would implore you to vote no, and I would stand for any questions you may have.
Thank you very much. We'll hear next from Daniel Mitchell.
Good morning, and thank you, Chairperson Peterson and committee members. I'm Daniel Mitchell from the 49th District, Vancouver, Washington. My third time in 3 years here talking about the magazine ban. Each time it passes out of committee, so what's different this time? Well, I didn't have to drive for 2 hours, stay in the rain for 3 more, just so I could talk to y'all for 2 minutes. So I thank you for that. But what else has changed? 7 million new gun owners since last March. Record-setting sales in these times of urban unrest from very diverse political backgrounds. When I have 65-year-old women consistently purchasing AR-15s, I'll say there's been a tidal shift in the gun buying demographics. As Michael alluded to, this is already in the federal court and has been found twice to be unconstitutional. So you're asking your fellow lawmakers to willfully break their oath of office and vote for a law that's known already to be unconstitutional. Furthermore, this bill bans the importation of magazines, setting up a 14th Amendment conflict under equal protection of the law. Today, I can keep my magazines, but anyone who moves into the state later cannot, as they would be importing them. Is that fair and equal treatment under the law? Lastly, Article 1, Section 8, the Commerce Clause. This law would ban retailers and wholesalers and manufacturers from selling unlawful products to citizens outside of the state of Washington. Just another constitutional conflict. We're in the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals right now with the state of Washington challenging 1639, and we'll be pleased to meet the state there again should this pass. Please don't jeopardize citizens' freedoms and safety for a false sense of accomplishment by sending this bill to the floor. Vote do not pass. Thank you very much for your consideration.
Thank you very much. Next, we'll hear from Curtis Bingham.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the committee. My name is Curtis Bingham, and I'm with the Washington Civil Rights Association. We urge you to oppose Senate Bill 5078. I have personally taught over 500 women to safely operate firearms and defend their lives and the lives of their children. They are victims of carjackings, violent home invasions, violent domestic abuse, and assault in their hometowns. Their stories are tragic and horrific. They have unfortunately learned firsthand that criminals choose to maliciously attack the weak and the defenseless, and no amount of rational conversation will deter them. We have a basic human right to live and a right to defend that life against others' deliberate and malicious choices that threaten our lives. Consider, if you will, for a moment, a woman walking alone in downtown Seattle from her office to her car. Away from the crowds in the winter dark, she's an easy target for an attack by a group of violent criminals. New York Police Department data shows over the last 20 years that police fired more than 13 shots to disable a single attacker. With a magazine capacity of 10 rounds, how will she defend her life from 2, 3, 4, or more violent criminals? When she's struggling to use one hand to hold off her attacker, she can't reload her 10-round magazine because reloading requires 2 hands. She's left defenseless at the hands of criminals intending to maim or kill her. What if she were elderly or disabled? Consider the young mother of 2 whose husband promised to find her and hurt her anywhere she went. She leaves the house in fear for her own life and the life of her children. He has a gun and could attack her at any time. If she shoots as well as the New York Police Department, can she protect her young children from her angry husband with a mere 10 rounds? This bill disproportionately punishes women, the disabled, elderly, injured, or ill citizens. They may not have the ability to carry multiple magazines. They may not have the ability to reload as they defend their lives from multiple attackers. We urge you not to sacrifice the lives of these people and urge you to oppose this bill. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Do members of the committee have any questions for this panel?